What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It has indeed been a while. I missed everybody. I missed doing the show. It's been so busy lately, and I'm so glad I have tonight off. Let's turn off this fan. Weather is beautiful here in Florida. Full moon is rising. It's still not perfectly full, but we're gonna get close to it. Running on the 11-inch tonight, looking due east, and I think it's 99.7. And the phase says it's full, so here we are. I want to hop into the chat, say what's up to everybody. I'm waiting on some Mexican food here, so that's going to show up in a little bit, so I'm going to eat some dinner while I stream. What's up, Debbie Carson? Good evening. Buddy, great to see you. Very nice comment. Says, so happy to be back here. Love this show. Nothing quite like awesome music and electric universe knowledge. It's very, very kind of you. What's going on, Australis and Marky Rowe? What's happening? The moon setting this morning was fire. I slept actually. I didn't sleep actually till like 4 in the morning, and it was streaming through my window and laying in the moonlight. It was very, very cool. Friday and even this whole month just kind of completely tore by, and I thought tomorrow was the full moon. I was getting all ready, and then I realized that it was tonight. So I hopped on. We're gonna hang out for a couple hours, chat, catch up, and yeah, right back at it. Nothing's changed. Still electric universe strong. Moon theory, connected universe, consciousness outside the body, hexagonal craters. Haven't lost sight of all of that. I've been keeping a very rudimentary eye on the YouTube space in terms of electric universe, but really not a lot has come out that much recently. And Thunderbolts sort of stopped posting and then started posting again, and they did some weird stuff with the graphics. It's kind of all over the place, and there was a video with Wall Thornhill, and he seemed a little bit tired and worn. So it's a little bit complicated there. I'm not sure what's going on with the channel. I wish them the best. And if you've been putting out Electric Universe content and I missed you, more power to you. It's a good direction to go in. Rainbows and butterflies, what's happening? Yo. So yeah, I'm pretty hungry. I'm excited to get my enchiladas and some guacamole and get my drink ready. I want to hop in and say what's up, welcome. Let's listen to some tunes here and get right back to our space journeys. We'll think about, like, I'd love to stream more, but I don't know, I really, every time, actually this past month was really up and down, so every time I'd have a night off, it would be some crazy weather, and there was some stuff going on in Texas and all over the place where there was just like shifting weather patterns, and there's not enough clear skies for me to stream. And then the days it was clear, I was so busy, I'm tired. Anyway, back at the culmination of things, and I want to play maybe some of the demos. I haven't actually done anything on the songs from last time, but those demos were still fun to listen to, and I haven't heard them till today again. So let me play Missed You, Operator, and a couple others, and see if my food is shut up. What's up, Unser, Wunderschein, greets from Heidelberg. What's going on? Welcome. All right. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me taste you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me test you. Let me test you. Underneath the stars, count your numbers. Fly above the moon, feel you new. To the dark beyond, saw your umbra. Across the nature zone, so electric blue. Underneath the stars, did you hear that I missed you? Fly above the moon. missed you underneath the stars. So long for you, I've been dreaming about the one with you, I've been singing about the stream. So long for you, till I see the color of your eyes reflected in the picture I made for you. Oh no, then you know what brings it, and you know what soul can sing to. But you know what brings it, and you know what soul can. We got it all, so what brings it out, and you know what soul can sing to. And you know what brings it out, and you know what soul can. What up, what up? Oh, there we go. What up, what up? Hopping in to say hi to Easy E and Lost Brooklyn, welcome. And whoever else is joining just now. So I'm still stuffing my face here. I got my enchiladas and enjoying some dinner, watching this moon with y'all. Very close to its full position. It is 99.7 right now, our snow or cold moon. Really, really extraordinary, as always. Tycho to the right, at the very top, Mare Crisium. At the very bottom left corner, we got Aristarchus, Copernicus, and Kepler. I think I'm going to go adjust the focus a little bit, and we can even do some zoomed-in shots tonight. It seems like we got some great relief right on the right side. See some of those edges popping out. Yeah, feeling good. Alpha, Aleph. Leonine, what's going on? Welcome. Yeah, super yummy food. I was starving. I literally hadn't eaten anything all day, and my food shut up like 5 minutes into the stream. So forgive me here, but please share your stories. I know lots of stuff has been happening in the world and in space. I watched some of the Mars stuff. I watched some of the... What else was it? I just watched a lot of videos over the last month. Nothing really stood out. Obviously the Mars thing is very interesting. Some incredible photos, and I don't know, I'm a little bit on the fence about all of that. I think simply due to the fact that I've always talked about the fact that Mars is so much more difficult to get to and to land on, and somehow it's still basically impossible to get to the moon. It would seem that the moon would be a hop and a skip, and you'd be able to send a quick rover in 4K, get all the footage going to the moon, and land, and then turn the camera around and do a full panoramic of what you see from the surface of the moon. And I feel like without that, seeing a rover land on Mars just is missing something. It's missing a little bit of that, like, what the hell's going on here? Like, why can't you just land on the moon, finish that, and then go to Mars? But not to take away from that team, some really extraordinary people. I know people who work on the Mars rover, and yeah, to them it's very real. They really did it, and I want to believe that it's true. I mean, all of it, but it's still really tricky to get into it fully, like I said, because for me, the moon is just, it's right there, so much closer, and it should be a joke at this point. But somehow, all the money that SpaceX has, and Virgin, and NASA, just cannot seem to get anything landed on the moon. And that is just so crazy to me. Welcome, Lyle Martin. What's happening? What's up, Howie Dunn? What's up, fam? Tetrapodum. Welcome. You'd think that, right? I know. I mean, I know I sound like I'm leaning into the conspiracy of it, but for me, it just seems like a no-brainer. You land on the moon, land a couple of rovers, show us exactly what's going on, and it's not even show us like you got to prove it to us, but it would be amazing to see, right? Like the approach, the landing, and then of course landing and turning the camera so you can see everything. So, and why not send a camera that has long exposure so you can see all the stars? So that's my issue with it. Otherwise, incredible experience to see it achieve their mission, to see them achieve their mission, and then to send back some really high quality photos of the surface of Mars. If it's real, it's pretty extraordinary. If it's not, then there's something very fishy going on in general. But I know a lot of people already think that. I'm not trying to spread incorrect truths. I just don't know. I know, right? There are so many stories about destroying the technology, or we've lost the videos, or there's no will, or there's no money. But to me, if you can get to Mars, you can get to the moon, right? It just makes sense. And so how are there 50 plus missions to this planet that's like 50 million, 100 million miles away? Moon is 250,000, and yet somehow like almost every mission to the moon gets either canceled or fails, except for of course, the Chinese missions I know have been landing, but then that kind of, the kind of reporting on it just vanishes after a day or two. What's happening? Michael Stiller says, the crazy aspect of the Mars landing, which I wasn't totally aware of, there's no air brake. The whole event happens while the orbital is basically flying horizontal to the ground. Yeah, there's so much to learn from this one, and that's really a fascinating point, actually. I didn't think of that. But yeah, like, I really don't know. Like, to be honest, all the stuff that I really deeply understand is the stuff that I can film and assess. We can barely see Mars through a telescope, and the rest of it is really knowledge from agency research. Nobody really has been to Mars. Nobody can send anything to Mars. Really, the best amateur telescope can barely get a good size shot of it to tell if anything landed, or if there's an actual atmosphere, or what the gravity is like on Mars. So most of the Martian lore comes from a small group of people. Now, it could be 100% factual, but to me, there's still something about it that doesn't click. Yeah, I'm definitely not, apologetic, I guess, but I want to be cautious with, steering people down the wrong rabbit hole. I feel like maybe one day we can 100% firsthand see these rovers on Mars and what they're doing, and in that case, I'll be proven wrong in my speculation, or my, yeah. So I just want to make sure that I'm saying it very cautiously, but that's just my opinion here. Aleph Leonine says, what's up with the Xenon 131 on Mars? So I didn't read up on that either, but I would imagine my standpoint on elementals and geology throughout the universe is that elements are formed along Birkeland filaments in spirals. And so the entire periodic table of elements is essentially the same energy transformed and transmutated along the Birkeland filament in different orders. And so hydrogen being the simplest and upwards. And so I would imagine that on Mars, especially if Mars was in an electric universe interaction with the moon or Earth or Saturn, that we'd get these slightly more rare elementals, noble gases, as residual, I guess, almost like nuclear fallout on the surface of the moon and Mars. So if that, I'm just really purely speculating at this point, but I would imagine there's something to do with that. Same with finding the spherals on Mars. Same thing with finding argon and krypton in the surface of the moon, on the surface of the moon in this thin atmospheric layer. There are these certain types of gases that don't really occur in that much frequency on Earth, but do occur on these planetoids. I would imagine it's probably the interaction between the nitrogen on Earth and the way Earth's magnetic field encloses Earth in this bubble, or several bubbles, and transmutates these rarer types of elements and gases into slightly more common elements and gases. Completely guessing here. Z-Proxy, what's happening? Woot, moon is huge today. Yeah, Devon Island of Mars. Look, it could be anywhere, right? Like, I've been to Hawaii, and if you see Kilauea or Mauna Kea, any of the two, like, huge, there are several, but I went up to Kilauea and Mauna Kea, and both of them, if you had a rover there and you took pictures of it, you would never tell. You could never tell if it was on a planet or on Earth. Les Brooklyn says, that's probably why we can't see, and I wish we could believe 100%. Yeah, same. Again, I've mentioned it in the past, but I don't want things to be a conspiracy. Deep down, I love astronomy, and I love the idea of space travel, so I really don't want it to be faked, right? But I do understand that on Earth, companies basically lie to their consumers to get more money in order to sell more products. And then when they sell the next one, they lie to get more consumers in. It's because the ultimate goal is power and money, and it's not really, the ultimate goal is not fairness and equality. So that's the norm, and that's the natural state of affairs. So it doesn't shock me if a space agency lies about certain aspects of their mission. It doesn't surprise me when the government lies about certain aspects of the government, and so on and so forth. This happens all the time, so I can't take one aspect from NASA and say, okay, this is 100% true, because in it, they are a private agency that needs funding, clearly, and there's no reason for NASA to tell the entire public Earth the truth about anything, in fact. So everything is cherry-picked, it seems, and it has been for a long time, and therefore even private space industries will do the same sort of thing, because why not? They're out to make more money, more profit, and not to share, right? So they'll share whatever they can, and therefore the Mars missions, while very exciting, seem like there's something else going on that we can't tell. Kimmy, what's happening? Welcome. Little burb passing by. Yep, the lunatics being called home. Will we ever see Elon's car fly by? I doubt it, but still, we caught some really random things, so who knows? Never say never. LF Leonine says, Xenon 129 is a product of nuclear explosions only, so they say. So the electric universe hypothesis is interesting. Well, for me, if you see this idea of atoms, elements, molecular structures based on a singular energy, the ether, and then this ether is transmutated through vibration and frequency into different states of matter that we consider like physical, visible matter. So when geologists or scientists break apart a rock, and they say it's made up of this and this and this and this percentage of that, this percentage of this. To me, that only means that there's an inherent structure to it, but it doesn't mean that this is an element that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's only in this one rock. No, it just seems that the vibrational frequency that created this particular element, for example, in this case, Xenon 129, that this was formed in a type of electrical interaction. Whether or not it was an explosion, it seems that at the very fundamental geometry of it all, even nuclear explosions are inherently electrical effects. A discharge. let's see. Precisely. So let's get down to it. Taking Back Space. Hell yeah. Love that sentiment. Coming in hot with a track here from the old school. This is called Game of Life.
Colors anymore. I need you
So let's do some zoomed in shots. I'm gonna play some Will Powered up in here, but I want to just hop in and say what's up to Genghis Khan, Donald Yates, what's going on, NGC, great to see you. And let me know if I missed you. Michael Stiller was asking me to play some Riksup, and yeah, I don't play anybody else's music on this channel anymore because I've gotten too many copyright strikes, and yeah, it would be nice, but I only play my stuff. Cool, looking at Tycho. Damn, I keep trying to change the speed on this, and it doesn't register. There we go. Probably gonna have to get another controller again soon. Where are we at with this Will-powered thing? 7:56 on the clock, Friday night. Just had my dinner, so now I'm feeling sleepy. No. Now I'm feeling full and happy. It's dedicated to all y'all. Let's get up and down and all around, riding through electric space, edge of the world.
You know why?
You know why indeed.
I've been beaten from the heart. I know, no lie. I've been thinking about you all night. Why? No why? I've been waiting for your white light. No why? I've been thinking that you should be mine. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. Oh, you send me messages across the cosmic network, and you send me pictures from across the astral plane, and you send me cryptic kisses across the matching network. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. Je t'attends, mon amour, à cette tuelle, assis dans mon canapé cinéma, achetant la baiser-même, avec on son billet. Je suis là même tout en avant, l'année chaque jour. Je t'attends, mon amour, avec les mecs sans agrévé. C'est mon âme magnétique, c'est l'amour magnétique, c'est mon amour magnifique. Cool running, no warning, you wouldn't, 'cause what is rooted, whatever it takes. Please, I've been dreaming from the heart. No lie, been beaten from the heart. No why, no why, no why. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down. So call me up, 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 and let's get down, 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 down.
A little Dark Roams and Willpowered before that. Want to hop in and say what's up to everybody. Good to see you all. Rastaman Lives, Genghis Khan, I said hi. Michael Stiller, Tetrapodum. I'm just going to say hi again. If I do it twice, it's all good. NGC, great to see you. And Easy E, and Howie Dunn, Stralis, and VW Blue Sky. Thank you. Welcome. All right. If you're lurking, let me know. Or just lurk and, you know, chuckle along with us. So taking a look at Aristarchus in the bottom left corner, of course at the top Copernicus, and to the bottom right Kepler, in this beautiful Pythagorean triangular formation with electrical filamentary action going on all over the place, but you can really see these kind of parallel paths. And I think I just made a connection that I hadn't really considered before. Excuse me. That these pathways, especially the ones going from the bottom to the bottom left to Aristarchus, excuse me, my brain's just like waiting for it to de-blur. You can see the atmospherics are messing with it a bit, even though the weather is very warm. Genghis says, don't feel bad, Luna. Science eyes all turn to Mars at the moment. We all still love you. That's exactly what I was thinking, actually, when I was watching the Martian missions. Everybody like, let's go to Mars, let's leave Earth, and let's go to Mars. I'm like, the moon is like just amazing and close, right? It's much, much closer than Mars. And the diagrams, when you really see this stuff, when you try and put it on a proper one-to-one scale, I mean, Mars is so far away. It's absolutely miraculous that any of these missions succeed. Of course, depending on whether you believe it or not, but let's say it's real. Getting to Mars and landing where you want is like a miracle. I mean, it blows the mind. So, but at the same time, it seems insane that we can't very easily just go to the moon. And then it'll get into this place where it's like, why should we go? We've been there before, you know, been there, done that. Or it'll be like, what's the point? We're already going to Mars. But I think that the moon is so important because, one, it's closer to Earth. Therefore, its history with Earth is much more accessible, one. And two, the story of Earth and the moon is very important, probably more important than the story between Mars and Earth, or even Saturn and Earth, given even with the electric universe story of Earth and Mars being sister planets within the brown dwarf Saturn, or if it was Uranus and not Saturn, or if it was hi Tess, if you're listening, hope you're doing well. And shout outs to all the electric universe people doing work. I'm sorry, I've been out of the loop for a while. Tried to check in when I can, but it has been very busy for me. But anyway, point is that the moon is so damn important, and the way it's downplayed is just so silly and inexplicable to me. It seems like nobody in the press and nobody in the science kind of contemporary astronomic community really pushes the agencies to reveal the goods as to why the missions get canceled, as to why we can't really go to the moon, why you can't send a small rocket to the moon with a small lander with an incredibly high-powered camera and artificial intelligence and send us the entire journey or stream the entire journey. But we can go to Mars and get photos almost instantly that are... There's something discrepant about it that leads you into a path of thinking uncomfortably about it. Or at least it leads me down a path of looking at the Mars missions being like, I don't feel so great about this, even though I want to really feel great about it. Anyway, back here at the moon, much more important to me right now. And we can see that Copernicus, Kepler, and Aristarchus, bottom left corner, tell us an incredible story of the electric universe in terms of, one, how formations on Earth happen, but also seeing the interconnectivity and the geometry of these features and knowing that there is an order to it. Whether it's a deity, God, or whether it's the ether, electricity, electromagnetism, more so the concept of order being inherent, intrinsic in all things, and manifesting as this hypertrochoid toroidal structure, the centrifugal divergent and centripetal convergent fields that Ken Wheeler talks about. I may have messed those up. But either way, we've seen it here, the donut and the hourglass. You can draw pretty much on every scale, on every shape that you've ever seen, from words to fruit, to the surface of the moon, to the human body, to consciousness itself, to concepts and elements and atomic structure. You can draw and formulate a proper geometric, realistic vision of the negative space, the counter space of all reality, giving you insight into almost everything by deriving sense from it yourself. So let's talk about just these lines, and what I kind of discovered just a few moments ago is that these rays, also I need to, let me get my paint program pulled up here. I'm just thinking that the kind of butter smudge, like the finger smudge that I show all the time at Tycho. Let's look at Tycho. You see this? Look at these two kind of like parallel rays or lines that go all the way across your screen right now. At the top right corner, you got Tycho crater, and you got these two lines. There are a couple more of them, but these are the two most prominent ones. It almost looks like something rolled through mud, or that somebody ran their finger through a plate of butter. And yeah, I need to get my paint program. I start talking, then I forget. It's Friday night, y'all. Everybody's cool. Everybody. Am I missing anybody in the chat? I see 921, Acacia. What's happening? Greetings. American Life Videos, what's going on? Welcome. And yeah. Okay, so let me pull up this paint. So yeah, we've seen these markings for a long time, and I've commented on them countless times about how, one, they're such a prominent feature. There's no proper public explanation for why they occur. They're so massive that they cut across like a giant portion of the moon, and yet they're probably one of the least, I would say, they're one of the most underrated features. I would think that there was some sort of explanation as to why these two lines occurred the way they did. And not only that, they cut across features underneath it in its path, so to speak. And these are not lava flows, right? These are not lava flows that are doing drag races, right? So where's my, sorry, I'm struggling tonight with this. Here we go. Paint. Ooh, there we go. Now I can sketch. What's up, TJ? 2:11 a.m. Saturday morning. Your future is here. What's up, time traveler? Welcome. You made it. Hope you're feeling fine. I'm talking about a new connection that I've made here. Maybe you've noticed it before, but these two lines coming off of Tycho crater cut through this feature right here. Look, you have that and you have that. Once it clears up a little bit, you'll see it a little bit better. But that's Tycho. And yeah, that looks a little funny, but whatever. Let me try that again. What will the kids do, Jerry? Nothing I can do about it. But yeah, so these two lines, I feel, are possibly current moving across the surface. Right? Current, electrical arc, moving as it interacts and cutting and carving and melting through this pathway. So if I hide this, if I hide it, you'll see, I'm going to try and center it on the screen, that this feature cuts through Borealis. I mentioned it before, but you can see it so clearly now that it's not just a crater on the edge of it. It's actually like much larger of a feature. I don't know if you're seeing this, but let me know. Yeah, please feel free to ask me to, yeah, so let's look at it in terms of this elevated land, right? The regolith of the moon that is more bright than the Mare, this portion. And then you have this crater, Borealis, Bullialdus. You got Tycho crater over here. And then you got these very interesting, very interesting, like snaking, but much less snaking actually. They're very linear. Right? They curve a little bit, but they start to snake right over here, or gooseneck. Anyway, let's note this. And let's move over to Copernicus, because this is what I was noticing. And I think I noticed it once before, but maybe I didn't call it out. But look at this. It's so similar to these two rays. Not perfect, but I started to look at it earlier, and I was like, man, that looks just like it. And these much more so convey electrical scarification. Now, what's so crazy is that I've talked about it so much, and a lot of you all know about electric universe, so the idea of a lightning bolt moving across the surface of the moon is something you can imagine. But if you've never considered it before, why do we, why if lightning can move across the surface of Earth, if you've seen any of those time-lapse weather videos or storms or heat lightning, why wouldn't you have massive lightning storms on the moon that have different type of atmosphere and different type of magnetosphere, and lightning could be much more powerful? Or if a planet or a comet was moving close to the moon, then you could have massive electrical discharge moving across the surface. Therefore, you'd be able to reconsider the idea that everything on the surface of the moon was caused by impact, by a heavy bombardment, and a late heavy bombardment several billion years ago, that this is the implied public theory right now, where these events happened, and therefore the moon looks the way it does, and let's not talk about it anymore. And it's pretty crazy to me that it is that people agree to not talk about this. I swear, like, to me, there are about 10 videos from between people sort of copying Electric Universe, or sorry, people copying Thunderbolts Project videos, or just Thunderbolts Project videos where they talk about electric scarification. Sorry about the noise, y'all. Yeah, hello. Okay. So you have these videos where it shows electric scarification, and the whole concept, Andy Hall just did a whole series on Thunderbolts where he talked about electric scarification happening on Earth, right? But the thing is, the moon is like seeing Earth from the outside, right? There's this almost not mirror perfect reflection, although it may be possible, but just enough of a view of the moon to really reopen the lunar geological record and say, well, we had this idea of a late heavy bombardment that, and over time, tiny bombardments that created what we see on the surface of the moon today. However, it's just crazy that it's settled. Like, nobody opens up the topic. Go to any website. I've said this before, but go to any website, go to any science journal, go to Universe Today, go to Tony Deep Sky, go to 2 Minute Science, all of these, and nobody talks about the surface of the moon. It's just crazy. To me, it's crazy. So I talk about the surface of the moon in order to replace or to actually provide some sort of way to really reconsider what actually might have happened to the moon, and therefore, one, connect with it more closely, but two, perhaps uncover the history of the moon. Right now, nobody really knows how we got the moon or where it's from. It's a total mystery in the public record. People are worried about the Higgs boson or gravitational waves, but nobody has a sense of where the moon is from. There's something so fishy about the whole thing, although I would say that it's logical that we have a moon. However, it's so highly underrated in terms of what's discussed and how it's talked about in terms of, like, in relation to Mars, in terms of the entire space program. The moon is this mystical, beautiful object that nobody wants to talk about in detail. So yeah, so reopening lunar geology means looking at these massive features on the surface of the moon, and then taking what your eyes tell you in terms of shapes and lines and hexagons and pentagons and this geometry, and saying, wow, there's a ton of order to this. Like, what's going on here? And for you to start imagining what the possibilities are. And that's really all it's about, right? Science is about discovery. And to me, all the stuff that I see in the public sector about the moon is just, the book is closed on the moon. That's it. And it's so strange. So damn strange. All right, take a little break here, get another refill on my drink, because I need it. I need it. Can I show where Tranquility Base is, says DJ Call. I can show you Sea of Tranquility. Let's head over there. Michael Smith Jr., hello, how is everyone? Everyone is good, I hope. I'm good right now. I'm good right now. if you're new, please check the description of the video for more links and check out my archive. If you're old school, thank you, and that was a bird. And also a very petite apology for not getting back to anyone who emailed me or wrote to me in the past month. I straight up haven't logged in to TakeBackSpace because I was so damn busy. And this is the first night, and I saw a bunch of messages. So thank you for hitting me up, and I promise I will read them at some point soon and reply, and maybe finish up my music at some point. So here we are at Tycho. Let's go up. Sorry, I got lost for a second. Let's head back to Tranquility. Here we are. So all the way at the top, Sea of Mare Crisium, Sea of Crises right here. Very elongated tonight, but you can see the hexagonal shape. Hexagons imply that there was this toroidal form, right? The toroidal geometric, electromagnetic geometric field. You got the dielectric inertial plane. You got the hypotrochoid or hyperboloid, the pinched plasma tube around the Birkeland filament. You take all that away, and you're left with hexagons. Why are you left with hexagons? Because hexagons form boundary layers with dense matter as they reach it. So a blister will grow almost perfectly circular from the center of the oscillation, and as it grows, it'll meet boundary layers like bubbles, and then eventually it'll set in the most balanced system it can. It's in equilibrium, and create these boundary layers from a much more smooth circle. And therefore, on the surface of the moon, I venture to say that nothing, absolutely nothing, is actually perfectly circular on the moon. Not a single crater, mare, and some are almost cubes. And right here, you can see it. This is Sea of Fecundity, Mare Fecunditatis. You got Langrenus crater. I definitely have some atmospheric turbulence. It's not the scope that's being blurry right now. It's probably just the humidity. So yeah, so Sea of Tranquility right here. And we're heading over to Serenity. Another Birkeland filament. Whoops. So, if my memory serves me, right, this is Sea of Serenity, Sea of Tranquility, and I believe that one of the missions was here. Actually, no, let me not guess and be totally wrong. Apollo missions map. Yeah, let me zoom out and I'll point them all out. Okay, right, so Tranquility, Serenity, Mare Imbrium, Mare Crisium, Mare Fecunditatis. And so I'm looking at the Apollo map. I'm trying to see where all the landing sites were. So I assume Apollo 15, right, or Apollo 17, 11. All right, so Tranquility Base was Apollo 11, I believe. Yeah. So that is Mare Tranquillitatis, and therefore, is where I drew the T, right over here. That's Tranquility Base. And then Apollo 17 is right here. Apollo 16 is here. Man, so many airplanes tonight. It's crazy. And let me just try this one more time. Trying to draw, have the picture up, and see what everybody's talking about is a challenge. Yeah, Genghis Khan says, Neil deGrasse says they are all circles. I mean, honestly, everybody says it. Like, even there's a Thunderbolts Project video where they're saying, they say circular lunar formations. I mean, I think, not to be ego-driven, but really it's none of them are circular. Like, I think, I don't want to be the first to say it, but really, I'm going to just say it and be confident about it, because there isn't a single feature that is actually, when you really zoom in, that doesn't have like a sharp side or a linear side to it, or many linear sides, or cubic sides, or diamonds, hexagons. Countless videos I've done it, at least 100. I've been drawing these shapes for what, 2 years, 3 years now? For sure, it's hexagonal, like throughout, and there's a reason for it. It's not like randomly like that, right? And if you look at ballistic impacts, especially missiles or bullets, it's completely different visually than what we see on the moon, which is organized and periodolic and nested fractally. It's just, and if that's the case, then it's a massive upending of lunar understanding publicly, you know, like globally. It doesn't make any sense to continue to look at the moon from a standpoint of a 2 billion-year-old mega collision versus the fact that the moon is actually a highly magnetized electrical object that was scarred in a 10 to 20 to 30,000 year span, maybe recently in our history, maybe not a billion years ago. That's a huge, huge difference than where we live today on Earth, thinking that the moon is this antique, you know, it's dead. It's dead. Been there, done that. And we need to bridge that gap. Where is the Sea of Tranquility, says Michael Smith. So the Sea of Tranquility is this shape right over here. And then to the left of it is Sea of Serenity. And so there's a mission over here. And I imagine Tranquility Base was near here, and the Apollo 16 was here. They all took place almost in a hexagonal formation in the center circle of the moon. So there's one here, here, and here roughly. And then these are really not exact, but this is the Chinese rover, the Chang'e 3 lander, that's Sinus Iridum, or the Bay of Rainbows. and then there's a Chinese rover on the far side of the moon. There are several like crashed rovers around here. I believe there's another, there are tons of missions that have happened here, and I want to say, maybe there, actually, 1 second, it's not exactly right. It would be here, actually, and here, like the North and South poles. Yeah, what's more important is the fact that there are these shapes, toroidal shape, hourglass shape, toroidal shape, hourglass shape, right? Right, this pad is breaking, that's why. Side-by-side hexagons imply this toroidal shape, hypotrochoid. Therefore, you can really trace the pathways of electricity across the surface. You can tell exactly where things occurred. You can tell why certain things have a center point, right? So this navel, or Tycho, would have had a massive electrical discharge connection. And this is why a consistent attachment of this filament to the moon could create emanating, boiling lines. Filamentary lines. As it connected, there would be a snap, and as it broke away, it would definitely have like a double kind of snap discharge, if you've ever seen discharge in a laboratory. And so this would explain some of these features in a much more logical way. And it would also explain all the markings around the regions. It would also explain the fact that you could have this filament move along the surface, inducing current from the outside. Right? The idea that things hit the moon and then form these extremely neat geometries is far less logical to me. All right, little break. I haven't spoken about this in a while, so getting all the knowledge back. Did I mention that consciousness is outside the body? Did I mention that? I think I may have. All right, here we go with some tunes. Back up here. So high.
dead. I felt you on the surface of the moon. They said I'm dead. Until you know my dream, as none of us will always be waiting for them to wake up eternally. Let's get pushing on up this burn. Let's get burning. Let's get pushing on up this burn. My dreams, I'm here to feel so.
What up, y'all? Just hopping in here, say hi, and thanks for all the love, all the kind comments. What's up, Micro Nova? Glad you caught a live show finally. I guess you were hanging out on the Electric View show. Yeah, it feels like eternity since that was on. I hope Neil is doing okay. Like I said, I haven't really been in that loop for a while. There was a reason for it, really. I kind of checked out of the whole YouTube scene for a little bit because there's a lot to discover, but at the same time, once you discover this connection, you kind of have to live with that for a while. You have to sit on it. So for me, watching videos over and over that kind of do the, even my videos sometimes, I've talked about it, where there's only so much to say about this. The rest is self-discovery. That yeah, I OD'd on the conspiracy science side of YouTube for a little while. For me, this is the right combination of things. Easy vibes, talk about all topics. You know, I push my own ideas, obviously, but they're very well researched. You've seen me develop them over time. You've had these discoveries with me. Those who believe in what I talk about, I thank you, and those who disagree with me, I also thank you, because you need dissenters. Also want to say what's up to Miguel. Sorry I didn't see you come in, bro. I hope you're doing okay. And shout outs to everybody who's not here yet tonight or who doesn't show up and sees this later. Hope you've been well. I'm gonna try and stream more, but again, I might get really busy. It's been such a crazy year so far. So if I don't see y'all, I mean, I'm not shutting the stream down right now, but anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's continue with the jams. Micronova, if you haven't, please check out the description of the video and old videos and playlists. I've done a lot of organization, so if you haven't dug in there, have some fun. There's a ton of old wild shows and clips. Again, a quick reminder to check out Rupert Sheldrake and Eileen McCusick, because they're just amazing and they need all the support they can. Even if you don't watch their videos, share their videos with other people. Tuning fork healing and the connected mind, the conscious state, and the human biofield are concepts that are clearly things that exist. They're clearly physical. You can heal, you can feel each other's plasma bubbles, and this is how we communicate and interact with the universe. I think that those two people are truly pioneers and worth following and supporting. Just a reminder, I know a lot of you already do that. Exactly, Howie. What did I say? Tuntastic dunktaculus. Dunktaculus, exactly. All right, keep on going with the cactus dance for Ellie. And let's do... I played Dreamboat before that. Yeah, let's do Harmony, Feel For You, and then Harmony Wave. My Chicago type of tribute track.
loves of the age, It's January, man, don't you know? Your life is worth more than this. Catch you if you fall, catch you if you're low. The look goes high enough, as fast as you can go. Catch you if you fall, catch you if you the midnight moon, maybe right up with the midnight moon, maybe right up at the midnight moon, just right up as the midnight moon, maybe right. Midnight Moon. There was Catch before that. Yeah, like I said in the chat room, Catch was one of those songs that you hope you write one day. And the fact that I have that recorded and so many people enjoy it just is really such a thrill. And yeah, I thank you all for the very kind words about all my music. And I'm glad that I can share it with y'all in whatever form.
and it can be a rough demo. It can just be like a fully produced track, and you all vibe with it. Lots of people have listened to my stuff, and they're like, oh, you should totally go out there and be famous. And then I think about it, but it's so much nicer to be able to connect with 20, 30, 40 people at a time who can really talk to you about each and every song and every lyric. And it's like being in a little bar with like 30 people, and I mean, there are 19 right now, but typically we have that kind of number from 20 to 30. And it's just like, yeah, it's really wonderful. I'm getting a little sleepy. I know it's early, but man, I've had a long week. At the very top, you'll see it's dimming because it's about to hit the top of my windowsill. I had to adjust the scope. So maybe 10, 15 more minutes before the moon disappears, and then I'm going to call it. It was great to see everybody. It's coming up on 2 hours here. Edge of space, edge of reality. Another night with our moon. Show number who knows what at this point. And yeah, I'm going to try and stream throughout the year, throughout the months. There was a reason I actually took a little bit of time off, is because right now the moon is on a really high ecliptic. So this trajectory will lead the moon above my house and all the way west to the point where I have no visibility from my back porch at all. Or my west, I have no west view anyway. So typically what I'll do is when we have crescent moons, they'll show up really southwest for me, and I'll be able to set up on the porch, and that's when I do my streams. So the next, like this month, next month, and I think another 2 months after that, the moon is on a very high ecliptic. So after it starts to move back, then I'll be able to do more and more streams from the back porch. NGC says, can you play I Missed You? I certainly can. I love playing the new stuff a lot, just because I can hear it in context and see what everybody thinks and also enjoy it. All right. I'll come back for one more shake. Hope you're all feeling well. 9:10 p.m. Getting through this with flying colors. Where'd you go? Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me taste you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me taste you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me taste you. Let me taste you. Underneath the stars, catching numbers. Fly above the moon, I feel you new. Into the dark beyond, I saw your umbra. Across the nature zone, so electric blue. Underneath the stars, did you hear that I missed you? Fly above the moon. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Underneath the stars. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everything you can for. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everyone you love. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everyone you care for. Take time to believe in the world, fill it up with everyone you love. Underneath the stars, did you hear that I missed you? Fly above the moon. Now you're here, let me kiss you. Did you hear that I missed you? Now you're here, let me taste you. Did you hear that I missed you? Underneath the stars. Okay. All right, friends. All right, I'm going to wrap it up with a couple more jams, but I'm going to hop off here from the chat. But I really appreciate everybody coming through tonight. As always, great to see you. Missed you. Everybody who wasn't here tonight, if you catch up tomorrow, hope you're doing great. Have a wonderful weekend. If it's clear like it is tonight, I'm going to try and hop on tomorrow, but no promises. I'm glad I was able to stream the full moon. You know I'll show up for that, always, rain or shine. So we talked a little bit about Electric Universe tonight, or a lot about Electric Universe, but definitely look into that if you haven't, or just consider the opportunity to open up lunar geology as a new study for people like us who can get a little telescope and sit in the backyard and do some real research. I also mentioned consciousness and thought and memory being outside the body. If you haven't considered that, imagine that there are layers around your body that store every moment of your life, and that's how you actually remember things. You resonate with these fractal, cymatic, three-dimensional fractal, cymatic, etheric pinches in these plasma bubbles, and this is how we exist. So these two fundamental concepts, you know, the surface of the moon being scarred electrically, opens up a whole wonderful world of research and thinking and hope for space. And consciousness and memory being outside the body makes you aware and understand of your place in this reality and how we interact with things. Thanks everybody again. Much love. Have a great rest of your night, and let's rock to some tunes here. What am I gonna do? I think I'm going to play something like... That was anticlimactic. Let's do Prism Dagger and let it slide out. Moon, great to see you. Full moon, great to see you all, people. Captain out tonight. Till the next joke.
Mm-hmm.